All right, welcome back to the 167. We are actually here with a number of ladies that are here, and they're going to talk to us about what they're doing in their ministry. Tracy?
Yes.
You've actually started this ministry in Colorado, correct?
Yeah, I started in Colorado, but it's nationwide. Actually, it's global.
All right.
But, yep.
So this is Gerri Gershon.
Hello.
And she is the head of our prayer team at New Life Community Church. So when you come in on Sunday morning, you're running the prayer room, the people up front that are ministering to people. Kelly Cordray, who's a member of our church, you have your own podcast, which people can find where?
Yeah, God Talk KC on YouTube.
There you go. And then Tracy Boone.
Absolutely. It's ElijahsPath.com is very simple. Just go to ElijahsPath.com. It's got all of our stuff on there, television show, all kinds of different stuff they can avail themselves to and find out more about the foundation and what we do.
Awesome.
Yep.
So that's kind of where you guys are individually. Mm-hmm. What are you guys coming together to plan? What are we going to talk about today as far as what you're doing here in Gardner, Kansas, but also what you're doing? Why don't you tell us a little bit about...
let me take that for you. Okay. So in 2012, I lost my husband in just a short verse, and I had a 6-year-old son at that time. And now we've come to a place where the Lord has us going around setting up community. And I know these ladies through Elaine Davis, faith-based equine assisted philosophy. And the Lord has me going around the country to these barns and setting up community. That's why I'm here, because I'm looking for pastors and places where we can actually set community up, joining with the barns, as well as Living Life Ranch. Melissa Cowan and Kelly Cordray were very vital for me coming to this area. And we are here assisting and helping families who are grieving and have lost. Pure religion in the sight of God is to care for the widows and the fatherless in their time of distress. So I come in and we look for these families, not just widows and fatherless, but those that are grieving. And then what we do is we work with them with the horses to bring some peace and some healing. And then at the end of that, we have a revival that we're planning, and it starts Thursday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And the whole purpose behind that is to bring the community around them, because I am here to teach families and people how to help these families, because a lot of people don't know. So we educate, and then we bring the whole community up, and we ignite a fire. So that's, in a short verse, what we do.
Yeah, that was great. So let's go into a little bit more of that. So Gerri, how did you kind of get hooked up this? What are you doing here in Gardner? That's I know every time we breeze past those words, it's like, yeah, it's an equine. I'm just going.
What is that?
It's horses. It's horses, guys.
And you got to come out. So yeah.
That is true. Our actual beginning in the faith-based equine application philosophy came through Janie Hamilton. Melissa Cowan was led by the Lord to found Living Life Ranch. And the whole thing around that was her life, to help what had happened in her life and to help kids and people of all ages who have grief, trauma, any kind of wounds and injuries. So we started, and the Lord led us to Elaine Davis, who Tracy mentioned here, and Unbridled Faith. So they went to some trainings, and we brought that training back here, and that's where the Lord blessed us with meeting Tracy. Kelly and Melissa and I and Gerri Anderson had gone, and they connected. And then Melissa and Kelly continued to get Tracy here. And so it has just been a blessing, because it's all the things that we feel like the Lord and the Holy Spirit breathed into Living Life Ranch. And I have a few words from Melissa. Is it okay if I share those? You have to forgive me. I don't want to butcher them, so I did bring some paper. So this is from Melissa Cowan, and she is the owner of Living Life Ranch. It is out off of 154th Street. Her phone number, 913-731-5579, or livingliferanch.org. You can get a hold of her there for more information.
So Melissa, you gave us her phone number and her information.
Yes.
It's out kind of by the golf course.
Yes.
And you guys are using horses, partnering with the Holy Spirit to do, freedom ministry, counseling to kids. Tell us what Melissa wrote.
Okay, so Marissa wrote that Living Life Ranch has partnered with Elijah's Path to bring peace to the Gardner community. We want to show people that they are not alone. They are loved. We offer an experience that will show and allow hurting individuals to know truth. God shows us lies that we believe and allows the clients to recognize them through this experience. We feel God's gift of peace and love working with horses. As Elijah's path moves forward in their journey, Living Life Ranch is here to continue to support the community with our faith-based equine application program. And we would love for you to contact us at the information that we provided. We can set up sessions. We can give you more information. I will tell you that it is one of the most beautiful ways that I've experienced intimacy with Christ and truth being revealed. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great program. We actually got to experience it myself
Yeah.
and Pastor Cam.
That was so much fun.
It was.
That was a really fun day because I was actually here at the church and we were doing some different things, and Pastor Cameron came to me. I hadn't seen, I think you had emailed me. I hadn't seen it yet. And Pastor Cam came up and he's like, hey, I'm supposed to go. And he kind of described it. I was like, oh, I know what that is because my daughter comes out.
Right.
And so he was like, do you want to come? I'm like, do you want me to go with you? He's like, yes, I don't know any of these people. And so I went out with him and I was just like, and we came out there and I was like, man, I totally forgot. We both showed up in like sneakers and jeans. And I was just like,
No, but it
Better
worked.
than flip flops.
I was
that's
like, I
okay.
should have,
That's
like,
okay.
I'm like, I've been out to the barn, like shoveling horse manure. And I'm like, I don't know why I didn't think of this. I should have known better.
They were white sneakers.
I
weren't
know.
they?
So it was like, we were both wearing white sneakers. I was like, oh, wait, I forgot. So,
Well, and the neat thing is during this revival, these events, the Lord has instructed me to demonstrate this, so people are going to get to witness and see this work done right in front of them during live music with Brendan Brooks that's coming, and just some really cool things. And Reverend Bobby Lane will be ministering, and we've just teamed up to set this up and then make sure that the community's intact with people like this. So
yeah. I know that's something that you talked to us about that you're very
Yes.
passionate about, is making sure that you come in
Right.
and we
It
worship
continues.
God. Yeah. And then that you have people that continue that ministry here.
Right, and you're a discipleship pastor, and so I'm trying to twist your arm to come out on our discipleship training on Sunday at 1 and help bring these families into the community, right? Because
Yeah.
we need to, we're
Yeah.
we're stronger, better together, right? And my whole call in my life is to unite lives to make the difference. I'm the widow that gets to do this for the kingdom. And so it's very important. I mean, the Lord said, put this on today, and it's a
Yeah.
shirt that says unity, right? That's what I'm about, is just uniting all of us, including the horses, to bring everybody together and strengthen the community and the kingdom. So
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about that experience too,
Yeah.
because other people kind of know. Like I said, my daughter comes out for that as
Yeah.
well. Pastor Cam and I got to come out, and it was basically every session is going to be tailored to the person.
the Holy Spirit shows up and he ministers, and he's got something for them. We have basic exercises that we do, but it always takes on its own thing.
Right.
And they get to experience 1,000 pounds of feedback. And the reason it works so well is you've got, when you're in a horse in an arena, you're heightened. You're going to pay attention and you're going to focus in. And how often do we have that in this world anymore? Where I get your undivided attention and all the phones are shut off and you are focused in, and the Lord gets that opportunity to minister to you with all this feedback happening. And he touches your heart, and I get to just work with the Holy Spirit, and we just get to come alongside. It's some of the most beautiful work we've ever done. So.
And that's what it was funny, because that immediate feedback was, I asked Pastor Cameron, I was like, what did you think about that? He goes, man, it was just intense, because the whole time you're going, this huge horse is with me and I'm just super hyper aware of what's going on.
Exactly.
And so it's a really great focal point.
And we really find that people that come out, they still get feedback for like 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, even, down the road, because there's so many, all your senses are heightened, and the Holy Spirit will say, yeah, well, what about this? Even
Yeah.
weeks later. So we always encourage people to journal and just kind of keep track of what he said in the arena. And then we'd love for them to come out on a weekly basis, just because it's so healing, and it's a place where people can go and catch their breath, and get away from their normal environment, because you can't see the forest through the trees sometimes.
Yeah.
But when you get out and away from your stuff, the ministry of the Holy Spirit can really speak to you and go, hey, well, what about this?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I know your daughter has 2 horses out at Living Life Ranch, and you've, like, your daughter's ride, I don't know what it's been like for Vega, but like for Olivia, she goes out there. It is something that's very calming to her. It's something, like I've told you, I can't get her to clean her own room, but she will come out and shovel horse manure.
What is that about, right?
Yeah, just to be near those animals and just to feel that powerful thing, and to one of the exercises you used with us was to go out and just
Yes.
rest with the animal and breathe,
Breathe.
and match the breathing of the animal. That way you become aware of your breathing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's hard for a lot of people. What I realize is just like people don't have alone time. They don't have that quiet time. So any quiet time really kind of freaks people out. But for my daughter, she's 16, and she's been doing horses since she was like 3, I think. Probably actually since she was born, but being around them. But this has been really healing for her through those teenage years that she was struggling. Actually, during COVID, she was able to get away from all friends and hang around with these amazing ladies and just be with her horse. And she says that's where she goes to think. That's where she goes to just quiet her mind. And there's something about the horse.
The
and
horse's heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
horse's-
really connects.
Yeah, the horse's heart is so large and powerful that just by standing next to the horse, it will literally regulate your heart. So if you've got a little child or someone that comes out there, even an adult that's having some problems with peace, even just standing by them, they know they feel better. They don't know why, but they know they just do.
Yeah,
it's a game changer. I mean, there was days that my son and I went out and he would not feel like doing the work, but he would go sit in a pasture and just sit by a horse sometimes. And you know what? He left better than when he came. And that was that was a win for all of us.
Well, and I think a great part of that too is like you talked about, Vega's been working with horses since she was 3. Olivia's been doing, just like chores around the thing for about a year or two.
Yeah.
I grew up around some of that.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit more comfortable with it, but like, so Pastor Cam and I, like Cam, has really not been around that very much. And
He did so good though.
Right. And I think it's very accessible for
Yeah.
a lot of people. So if you're sitting there going, and then you're working with some other children, it's boys, it's girls, it's not
And
always.
you don't
age.
have to be a horse person. That's what's
Yeah.
great about it is you don't have to be a horse person at all.
And it's not riding. You're not riding
Yeah.
a horse.
Right.
It has
You're
nothing to
working
do
with the horse. You're
Right.
doing these like kind of basic
exercises.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're using it in a counseling technique to say, hey, I want you to visualize this. Now, what does this tell you about yourself?
Right.
And like really internalizing those things. And so that's why I wanted to emphasize to people is going, it's not just for like, well, I don't like
It's
horses.
learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To say it's learning with horses, it's not even really counseling. You're going to learn something about yourself with the horse.
That's the beautiful thing about it. You don't have to go sit in a room and talk to somebody about
Yeah.
things. I mean, you can have great healing and just being with the horse and what the horse is reflecting.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
see how you're responding. So
It's something that's active. And
Yes.
even I've seen people use counseling techniques before where I know there's a place in Colorado called Blessings Ranch, I think, or and then so people go out there, and I know one of the extras they do is they go out and they say, I want you to, every problem in your life, every sin, I want you to go out and pick a rock that represents that to you. It looks like it, put it in a bucket, and then you have to lug this bucket up a mountain, like chuck them off
yeah,
and pray.
right.
over it.
Experiential learning.
It's like it's
Yeah.
good stuff, but it's like there's even something even more different about something that can interact with
Yes.
you. Like it's not it's a
Yeah.
horse, it's not a
Yeah.
rock. It's something that, like you said, is different and it changes each time.
It does.
It's something that can be subject to the Holy Spirit, can use it,
Right.
to kind of interact with you. And you're,
Exactly.
like I said, you're very aware of it rather than just going. Like I think that a lot of those interactive objects lessons and counseling things are
Yeah.
important, but like I said, there was something a little bit different about this when I got to experience that
Yeah.
you were actually interacting with
You
something
are,
else.
and that is valuable. And I want to make sure we say that. When a child loses a parent, they're scared. They are scared. And I'm just talking about the children right now. Even adults are scared. Let's just face it. When I lost my husband, I'm like, oh my gosh, now what? So what, right? But when you bring a child out, they close off. When you're scared, you put a wall up. That's what happens. And what happens is when they start to brush a horse, we even just let them brush a horse, and they start to interact with them, the walls start to come down, and now there's a chance to minister and start bringing them, we call it, my son and I call it bringing them back to life. And that's what my son and I have done, is we've really just taken the last 9 years and said, what works? And let's bring it to them. I mean, we give children these little stuffies and stuff afterwards, because my son wanted to have a closet where he could take kids to and give them a stuffy.
That's
and
cool.
so we've been giving out stuffed animals that says you're not alone on it, and they squeeze, and it just makes them remember the experience, which is huge, right? And to just love on them, because it's just the stuff that I did with him, and that's all we're doing is bringing this work to introduce to these families that have just lost a lot, and it's just not fair. So we're just, they deserve a chance to have a great life. And that's why we have television show. We have a television show. That's actually important to say.
Yeah.
We do have a television show
Where
called
can
The Path
people
to
find
Healing.
that?
Yeah. If they go to ElijahsPath.com, they can see the networks. We're on 3 different networks. But we also have a very special place for just the kids. We take the segment out that my son has, and he does this little segment on words of wisdom for my generation. And we just have separated it and put it on Zondra Television, Zondra TV, and that's just one of the networks, and where the kids can just go binge watch all these great life lessons. And I'm hoping you're going to get to film with them, because I think it'd be fantastic. But people like you will give a word of wisdom, and we're taking it to the kids. So when they lose those daily life lessons from Dad, I'm getting everybody around the community to give these lessons, so they don't, they have every chance, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Well, thank you guys. I know you guys are super passionate about this. It's something that's very evident in what's going on. Our family's benefiting from it. I had a great experience out there. So just to reiterate a couple other things, there's going to be a revival out there Thursday,
Yes.
Friday, Saturday. What time does that start on Thursday?
Starts at 5:30.
5:30 on Thursday.
On Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we open the doors. At 6:30, the music starts with Brendan Brooks.
We open
and
the doors at 5:30.
What did I say?
You kind of said it unclear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Open the doors at 5:30.
I've been
Yes.
blow
It's
it.
starting at
6:30.
6:30.
But we will have horses and things out there at 5:30 that they can experience for sure. And that goes Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then the discipleship is at 1. But it will go on
Sunday.
Sunday. It will go on through the weekend. And every night is going to be different. It will build on itself. So it's
Excellent.
revival, pure revival. And Bobby Lane will probably get up there about 8 o'clock at night. Reverend Bobby Lane. So
Awesome.
And then if you guys come, I got to get you up on stage too. I'm going to work it.
There you go. And then Melissa's phone number, if they want more information on that, once again is
913-731-5579.
And then they also can text LIVE, LIVE, to 303-646-6558, and it will send them a jot form where they'll see the actual commercial for it and the poster and all of that, so they can look at more information.
excellent.
It's wonderful.
Well, I hope you guys will be out there. We'll see you out there. We'll see you next time on the 167.